Yeah. What's good? This be the G Shah Cypha. You officially tuned in to On The Grynd Live, where we support anybody out there grinding. It don't matter what type of grind it is, as long as it's positive, as long as you pushing forward, and as long as you trying to take it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? So when you see me, you see dope people. You know, I don't pop up on here unless I got somebody to talk to that's just as dope as I am. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna keep it real. We gonna keep it 100. We gonna take it to the next level, and we gonna get to the people. Why? Because the people need to definitely show and talk about their grind. You already know what it is, Shah Cypha. Let's get it. Yeah. What's good? This good. What's good, baby T?
What's going on, man?
Man, what's going on? Turn that back, man. I want to see you live. We want to see you live.
Boom. There you go.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You good, man. You good. You clear. We can hear you and all that good stuff. So we on the line right now. You know what I mean? We talking, we live on the grind live with Baby T, Shah Cypha. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, talk to the people, man. Tell us where you from. You know, you already know where I'm from. We talked about that. Well, you know,
right. You from the BK. You from Flatbush. You from a place where I lived. Woo, before I went to ESPN and started working. I lived in New York for a small amount of time. So yeah, I know. I love NY. Let's take it home.
What's real home for you? What's
real home? Born and raised Flint, Michigan. Currently in Chicago though. I've been in Chicago almost, what was it, 4 years, 4 or 5, almost 4.5, something like that. 4 years, give and take.
So Flint, Michigan, by way of Chicago. Now you've been in there for a while. Well, you know, why the bouncing around? You say you was in New York for a minute. You've been, you know, you was born, you know, you was raised in or came up in Flint. You in Chicago now. Why the bouncing around?
My career takes me wherever I need to go. So the music was an avenue or a lane per se to, you know, create a better engineer. Like where I'm from, there's not too many people that's artists. Like people know Dayton Family, they know MC Bree, stuff like that. But those same artists were dealing with major artists, major labels, major engineers. Growing up in the 90s and early 2000s, you know, doing things like that, you just didn't know what was going to happen. So you didn't know the integral pieces of what went on. And for me, I wanted to know more. So eventually I kind of just decided to like, oh, well, I guess I could say a word or two and maybe I can learn to record it on Fruity Loops or something. FL Studio, what they knew now, it was Fruity Loops Beta when I was using it. I'm old. But then after that, though, I learned a lot. Like I eventually ended up on stage and created this whole Baby T persona that almost like how Beyonce, but like, oh, this is an alter ego, and people said it became an alter ego, but it was a gateway to be able to be a better engineer because I was able to record myself. But me being on stage and recording myself allowed me to introduce with other artists. And then with other artists came new projects and learn to be a better engineer. And, you know, 20 some odd years later, I'm out here doing broadcast, you know, mixes for, you know, network television, you know, winning Emmys and such. So
yeah, and that, you know, how you, man, things like that is definitely a blessing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you went from one location to another. You're experiencing different avenues, but at the same time, you're still in that music lane. So talk to me about Baby T the artist. Like, you know, who is Baby T the artist, and explain the music that Baby T puts out.
Baby T the artist used to look a lot different than what's here now. Don't let this fool you. I think I even got my bar in the back. I built my own bar in an apartment, so you gotta forgive me. But like Baby T legit was shaved 3 times a day. None of this beard was in. I didn't have long hair. It was a straight fade the entire time. You know what I mean? That was Baby T for 10, 12 years, give or take. It potentially even more than that, to be totally real with you. But Baby T now, after letting him, I guess, be reborn, as they say, that character now, it's speaking my truth. It's speaking my life. It's speaking where I've been, what I've done, the success that I've experienced, that my people have experienced, but the same expertise or experience in life that I have achieved, that I pass it on to my people, I pass it on through music.
Right.
You know, and with the new project, The Prodigal Son, it's just that.
Right.
Like it's yeah, I talk about family issues on Family Ties, which we all have family issues, but family issues is not the thing with Family Ties. Like, it's friends. It's the people that you love the most that you know you can't be cool with no more because you can't take everybody with you when you
Right. Right.
grow.
Right. Right.
And you
Right.
know, but also it's those times like, yeah. Like, I know what you're talking about. Everything you say to me sounds like yeah. You know, it's about the misunderstood of the world that feels like no matter what they do, no matter what they say, no matter who they are, they're misunderstood.
Right.
You know, from no matter where it comes from, your family, your friends, your job, whatever, you know, but all this time you're still worrying about yesterday instead of celebrating today. So, like, to
Right.
me, that's where Baby T comes from now. That's Baby T, the artist now. It's about celebrating life. It's about celebrating successes. It's about celebrating your failures, because without failure, you can't celebrate success,
Right.
and you can't learn from failure if you always succeeding. So, you know.
No, I feel you on that. I feel you on that. It sounds like you went through, the beginnings, the trials and tribulations, and then the transition, and now you're an open book to the world by way of
Absolutely.
music. You get what I'm saying? You'll be able to
Absolutely.
explain some things. Being that you're an engineer, like how long you've been engineering? Like uh
25. I started when I was 14. My first session was at 16. I started interning at 17. My first paid session after internship was at 18. So if you want to say the first paid session, I was 18. I am 39 now. So what, 21 years?
no, I hear you. I hear you. Let me ask you
Yeah.
this. When you engineering your own music,
Yeah.
does Baby T the engineer conflict with Baby T the artist? Like, man, I should have did this better. Let me mix this. Nah, you know what? I'm too late. Sometimes I get lazy as an artist. That's what Shah Cypha came from
Absolutely.
the artistry. So I'm like, yo, you know what? I think this. I'm gonna do this right here. You know what I mean? On my engine, because
Yeah.
I'm my engineer phase. I'm done with the mic. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do this right here. Like, do you get into that funk? Like sometimes, you know what?
I try. It happens, and
Yeah,
it usually happened with this project. This is the first time in a long time where I would actually, I didn't pass anything off. I
right,
handle everything myself. It definitely does from time to time. Like, when I got to the end of the light, I was like, these three records. When I heard the productions, I was like, they got it in the album. I don't know when I'm gonna get to these, but they got to end it. So
right,
when I got to those, I was like, we're done. The artist side, but the engineering side is like, no, I'm sorry. The engineering side is like, we're done, but the artist side is like, I don't know if I can say this on here, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Nigga, we ain't done. Like, it was,
right,
and that's
right,
what it
right,
was. But after time, it definitely has a conflict the farther I go,
right,
because my artist side goes, I could have done that verse better. And I was telling my girl and my best friend that was like I let the girl hear it this morning. We put it on the Atmos system in here. And
right.
yes, for people that's watching, I got an Atmos system in the apartment. I'm weird. So I put it on the system, and like we listened to it, and it was like, yeah, I was like, yeah, babe, just I still want to make adjustments. She said, listen, let me know when I can buy it when you're really done. I was in my
Right,
mind, I'm
right,
like,
right,
I don't know when I'll be really done.
right,
But it's one of those things where that's where you have to maintain both egos,
right,
because the artist side is of me is saying it's exactly like I want it to be. It's not supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to hit so hard that it rattles every single trunk for the next 20 years. The engineering
right,
side is going, no, let's turn down the bass a little bit, be able to make it higher and bigger. And
right,
no,
right,
and
right,
but that's where for me the they clash, but in the process of making it, the engineer side never comes in because it's just the artist. I will wake up in my slumber in the middle of the night, and this is how I made it. No lie, y'all. And they can contest to this. They're behind me, which is so funny. Um, they contest to this. I literally woke up in the middle of my slumber one night. I couldn't sleep. I
Yeah.
had like 6 basketball games in a row, something crazy, something weird, and I couldn't sleep. And I was like, all right, I can't sleep. What I'm gonna do? I started mumbling words. And
That's
that's
how I
how I started.
start.
And that's how I started. I started mumbling words. I
Right, right,
used Luna. I got my audio. I got my Apollo. Got my mic in front of me. Lights. I was like, well, I just started mumbling. I threw on a beat. Like I've been collecting beats for like 3 years. No exaggeration. And I was
right.
like, just throwing the first beat. I threw on a beat. Wrote the record. Recorded it. Next record. Bow. Did the same thing. Next record. Bow. Before you know, it was 4 records done that night. And I was like, well, I guess we're doing this. I was like, let me
Right,
order,
right, right,
let me get
right.
on DoorDash, let me order, like no lie. It was like, let me go on DoorDash, let me go to IHOP, let me order breakfast because it's going. And that's
Right.
how it started, and it just never stopped until what I felt was done. But what's crazy is it still ain't done because my mind is still spinning. I still listen to productions, I'm still writing every day, and I'm like, shit, less than a year from now, I can have another record.
Is there specific producers that you work with, or
No,
you
no, I don't have. At one point, I used all DJ when I stopped making beats because I was a producer myself for many, many years.
okay,
And the problem with that is you want to select sound and you spend hours trying to find that sound that you just totally work yourself out the idea of. And I move my hands on the camera. Work yourself out the idea of the creativity part.
right,
And
right,
it was a point where I think was it Dear Hip Hop? No, Therapy Session is when I met, which is an album, ladies and gentlemen, on streaming now. Um, Therapy Session, I met DJ Pain One,
right.
and we talked, and he sent me records, and I was like, I like you, dude. And he was like, bro, I love your style, and we talked and we talked and talked and network. And then I went to work back out on cruise ships, and that's when I did Dear Hip Hop, and we did that on a cruise ship. And that's when I started realizing I felt more freedom not producing anything.
Right, right.
But I still produce it. It's those things where I'm like, I hate to say call you a young Diddy because Diddy got so many issues now, but
Yeah, no, no, I hear you. I hear you.
uh
I hear you. We ain't worried about all that other stuff he got going on. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
want to make sure that he
it's
gets it. But the music, you can't deny the music.
no,
You know
you
what I mean?
can't deny the music, can't deny the creativity, you can't deny the fact that he was able to captivate the world and be able to mold and shape people. And that's what I've done. Like even with the productions that I get, I can hear the rawest production and go, this has no hook, but this can be a hook, this can be a
Right,
verse, this can be a drop, and then take that instrumental and recomposite it into something that now is a working landscape to my life. And I
right,
sound like a
right, right.
painter right now, Jesus.
Oh, it's all
But
good. It's all good.
but that's exactly what I do most of the
Right.
time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, they're the beat maker, but I'm the sole producer, as they say, of the record.
It's funny that you say DJ Payne one because I got eight. I got a project out, you know, streaming raw stories, and on that project, 8 of those records came from him.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? So I know exactly how you feel when it comes to like I've never produced, like I'm not a producer. I don't make beats and things like that. I've never been in that lane, but I've been in a building with producers in that lane.
Yeah,
So I'm like, yo, well, this is what I'm looking for, and then we build it as we go, right? Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? I'd rather sit and write the records and understand the business of it, right? Like I'm not a full engineer. I know enough to get me recorded, sound good, and then send it off to my people
absolutely.
that already knows my sound, right? So I can do that because I got two specific people that I can send to depending on what type of vibe I'm looking for.
Yeah,
Right. So, you know, I definitely understand that. I'm gonna ask you this question, Prodigal Son.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Go for it. Prodigal Son.
Prodigal Son. Why Prodigal Son? Like talk to me. Why name it Prodigal Son? You talked about the music, but like when you make a decision to name a project, it usually has a story behind it. So talk to me.
All right, so and I'm smiling a lot because my girl is she's right behind me. And my best friend, I just looked at, she's asleep. So my girl is watching me. But it's literally about her. So me and her were going back and forth about stuff, and I was like, babe, misunderstood. She was like, that's actually kind of dope. She's like, what else you got? And I'm going through stuff. And then she started telling me about the something in the Bible. You know, she goes to church a lot. She was telling me about the Bible. And she was telling me about the prodigal son.
Right.
And she was telling me, she was like, the way you're telling me this and telling me your life, you sound like the prodigal son. I was like, you got to school me. I don't. She was like, go look it up. And I looked
Right.
it up and I was like, dude,
Mm-hmm.
that's very accurate. Like how he left home and you know, and then when he left home, he explored the world. He explored everything he could, all the mischief in the world, everything. And then when he came back home, the king presented him like the prince that he was. He gave him everything that he wanted. He gave him every food, every clothing, every great everything.
Right.
And it was weird, but at the same time, you had family that didn't like that. His brother didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, the more I learned of the story, I was like, that's my life. And the more I started recording the project,
Right.
and the more I spoke, and what ended up making the album, because it was about 45 songs that I think I recorded.
Right.
And that don't sound like a lot to a lot of young kids who just go in and record every, 9 songs in a day, but when they mean something, it's a little different. And it was like, it meant, I was like, that's it.
Right. Right.
And when you and even when you go from like from top to the bottom off memory, I think it's like the first six, let's say the first couple songs is, because I don't want to get the numbers wrong, and it'd be like, I think it's Rear View, and then Icon, and then Misunderstood, and then Yeah Yeah Yeah, and then Walking Tall, and then Heroes, and then Family Ties.
Right.
Here's the catch: I can explain that to you. I can explain to everybody. Rear View is Pac staring at the world through my rear view. But
Right.
as a person going through your issues in life, you're always looking through your rear view. You're always wondering what everybody is talking about or doing or saying. Then
Right.
you turn around your rear view, but what do you see in a rear view? A mirror of yourself. What do you think of yourself? Motherfucker, I'm an icon, right?
Right.
So
Right. Right.
I'm an icon, but I'm an icon that's misunderstood. I'm an icon that's misunderstood with a bunch of yeah, yeah, yeahs in his ear. With a
Right.
bunch of yeah, yeah, yeahs in his ear, regardless of what these yeah, yeah, yeahs say, I'ma walk tall and still present myself like my heroes. But
So the
even
prodigal son is a story.
it's a story.
It's a full story.
It's a full
Yeah,
story.
definitely like that. So it's
Don't worry about the ambulance. That's Chicago. I can't help that.
no, it's all good. That sound like New York to me. You know what I'm saying? That sound like New York to me too. So don't worry.
Yeah, I
You know,
can't.
I already know what it is.
I can close the window and it won't matter. Like
Listen, when you grow up in areas where you in high rise buildings and the train station pass by and you can hear the train, you know what I mean, on those
it wake you
bridges.
up every morning,
And
don't
you know
it?
what I mean? You got and then get to a point where it get to a point where you get so used to it you can sleep through it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's when you know
Yep.
you embedded into the
Yeah,
society.
absolutely.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Um so out of all these songs that you made, well, how many songs you decide to put to place
17.
on so 17?
17. 17.
Man,
Right.
giving them a whole project,
Oh,
masterpiece, a
a
whole
masterpiece.
yeah,
This
yeah,
is the longest project I've ever done in my life. 17. Like I said, it was 45 songs that were recorded, and I think accumulation of over 150 productions that I have, either that I wrote for, that I recorded for, or just all of the above.
No, I hear you. I hear you. Talk about the Grammys, man. Like talk about the accolades. Like you can't be on here and not talk about the accolades. Like Listen, people say be humble. It's nothing wrong with being humble, but there's also, nothing wrong with letting people know that you doing it, that you getting it, that you know what you're doing. So talk about some of the accolades and the accomplishments that you've achieved so
It's
far.
funny. I about 2 months ago, I went to my old college and I had a speaking engagement at old college and
Yeah,
talking to the kids. And it was funny because a lot of the kids, usually it's like the idea is like six semester and up.
right,
But this time it happened to be like a lot of first semester to third semester. So they haven't even really got introduced to everything. And they were there and they were asking the same questions. And the host of it was like, I normally don't do this, but we got a table of a lot of people. So we're gonna go down a line. And we all talked about it and we all were shocked at what we were doing. But for myself, I'm blessed enough to say that I have 4 Emmys in my life. I
that's
have
what's
two.
up.
I have 2 Emmys from ESPN. I have 1 Emmy from SportsCenter. I got 1 Emmy from working E60. I have 2 Emmys for working with the Chicago Cubs pregame and postgame show. So it's those accolades on top of I look to my right because I don't have a bookshelf. I'm trying to find the right bookshelf.
Right,
It
right,
doesn't
right.
exist. It doesn't exist, bro. Uh,
You gotta make one. You gotta get
I
you gotta
gotta
go
make.
to the carpenter and say, listen, I need you to I need you to accommodate all this right here. What do you got?
Right. It's
You know what I
it's
mean?
so funny because I'm like, I legit I think I have 18 certifications and degrees for my life.
Right,
The Emmys, the gosh, man, it's all the stuff that I've done. It's wild, man.
right.
It's a lot of stuff. I'm looking at my right, like that's a lot of stuff I got to put together. But
Well, with all the experience that you've accumulated over time,
yeah.
like, is there a specific highlight a specific thing that you pinpoint on every time you look at your trophies? Like, is there one thing or a couple things that you can say, man, I'm glad I did that because I almost didn't.
Oof, that's a good one, bro. I want to say ESPN because at that time I have never worked in broadcast.
Right,
I left cruise lines and then I was working for House of Blues for about a year doing live sound. And with the summer coming in, House of Blues was going through change of ownership or whatever. I was like, I need to find something else. I went to Houston for about 2, 3 weeks to regroup myself for family,
right,
and then I guess I sent some stuff to Carnival Cruise Line, and that did that for 5 years, give or take, and went to ESPN. But
right,
what's weird is that when I left Carnival Cruise Line, I had about 10 to 12 different like contracts with different companies. But stuff I've always done. Everything else from Disney on Ice to Disney itself. There was a lot of stuff. And eventually I was like, I want to do something I've never done. And I ended up going to ESPN. And with ESPN, it is even though it didn't work out, it was one of those things that I was telling my girl today. It reshaped my longevity in life
right,
because if I didn't go there, I wouldn't be in broadcast today
right,
because I was able to understand the lingo of broadcast, to be able to work it, to understand it, to go. See, you worked in studios before, right? Yeah, I'm okay. Why? We need this. Okay, cool. And then to sit in that seat, and it's 4 years later, and I'm still in that seat.
right, right,
You
right,
know what I'm saying? It would have to be ESPN
right,
only because I it was so rare. Like it was just like someone off the street, not born into the whole broadcast world, not going to college for it, to be able to come in and then make an impact and then leave, but then end up back in it on I guess on my own terms, as you say, is very unique. That would be that moment. That would also be a turning point in my life too.
definitely, definitely. So knowing that that was your moment, what do you feel like is the biggest lesson you've learned altogether?
Stay humble.
Stay humble.
Stay humble, because I have ruined a lot of relationships not being humble. I let my ego get in the way of the reason of me doing something. I've let my ego get in the way of my work. I've let my ego get in the way of relationships, business agreements. Um, I will tell you one real quick where it was an engineer. I'm not gonna say no names in Atlanta, and I moved to Atlanta at one point, and I got a chance to work with him. I met a lot of Biggie's friends, like met a lot of people,
Right.
and he owed me some money one time, and I was just like, I was hurting, like my life was in shambles. I'm like, I need my money, I need my money, and I was
Mhm.
being I was being a jackass, and
Right. Right.
he was just like, here's money and some. But I'm gonna tell you something now. You're going to be one of the best engineers I've ever met. And I'm not saying that because I know you was like, you're gonna be one of the best I've ever seen. But you won't become that unless you have understanding that everyone is going through the same situations that you're going through. That I did not understand that until about 5 years later. But it was just like, I get it now.
Yeah.
And with that, it's like more doors have opened now going into 40 than it has ever been at any other time. And probably because I do understand that now. I
Right.
understand what he meant. Like, we all go through times. Like, I didn't know his wife was sick. I didn't know his wife was like on a verge of dying. I didn't know he was sick. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? I didn't know his sons were sick. Like, there was so much I didn't know. But in return, I ruined a relationship with a prominent producer out of Atlanta. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So
Right.
it's
Right.
like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's a live and you learn. And for me, just so happened that it paid off. But I still think about, man, what if I still contacted this guy? What if I was still in relationships with this guy?
Right.
At who
Right.
I am now, I probably could. We could probably do some great work together. So
Definitely. I saw you recently connect with my business partner, Tampa Mystic.
yes,
You know what I mean? So shout out to Tampa Mystic.
yeah.
You know what? She doing an interview probably right now. You know what I'm saying? She
She
be
will never
killing.
stop working.
Yeah, she don't never stop working. You know what I'm saying? So you was out there in Atlanta, tune in with her. What other things that you had going on, that you needed to swing by Atlanta? Like, anything going on that we need to be tuned
Of
in.
course. Of course. I got a concert tomorrow. The album Prodigal Son comes out tomorrow. But it's crazy that it worked out with me and you because on today, because literally tomorrow, not only does the Prodigal Son hit stores or streaming services, I have a concert tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, which is Atlanta time for y'all who don't know, and
Right, right, right,
Chicago and Connecticut time for the others that know. And I have a concert at the same time to celebrate the evening, celebrate life, celebrate my family, celebrate my friends. And we're going to play the new album.
right.
I'm going to play the album. I'm going to play songs from the album live. And I don't mean just like me rapping over lyrics, I mean live.
Yeah,
I
yeah. That's
mean,
tough.
absolutely live with a live DJ. My boy Ryan Moses, he lives in Chicago. He's based out of DC as well. Like we're gonna do that. I have two videos coming up. Well, three technically. Two of them are in a canned. We're looking to can them already.
Right,
Call home. We shoot Call Home in 2 weeks. We shoot Call Home in 3 weeks. We shoot Temptation in 2 weeks. We
right.
shoot Misunderstood in like 3 weeks again. This one's going back to back. Um, I just got booked to do a showcase in Brooklyn in your area.
Brooklyn.
Where you
Let's
from?
get it.
Yeah, in BK.
Yeah.
At Baby All Rights. I have a meeting with about that on the 7th of April.
That's what's
Getting
up.
all the logistics with that together. It's crazy, man. Like things are just moving real fast. I just had a review come in from A&R Factory about the single Misunderstood.
Right.
The interview, the review they did, I didn't have anything to do with that. It was immaculate. They wrote that it literally may have been their best song of the year so far,
Right.
which is a huge comment. One of a good friend of mine, also a Hollywood executive, and A&R, and a writer, and he was like, "Hey, as soon as the album comes out, I want to review it." That's another big review. Like, there's a lot going on. But the biggest thing is that the Prodigal Son hit stores tomorrow. I go on stage 7 p.m. Central Standard Time at itsbabyt.com/Prodigal Son or Live Bash. It doesn't matter. Both things. Go to itsbabyt.com. I promise you, as soon as you go there, it's gonna pop right up. I will make sure of that.
I know what else we got going on. We got Baby T in the next issue of the Grynd Report.
Yeah.
That's dropping. That's dropping anytime between the 12th and the 19th of April. You know what I'm saying? So we already sent it to him. You better go on the page and check it out. Go on the website, check out his interview. We still got to post a couple more for you. You know what I'm saying? But the Grynd Report, listen, that particular issue, when I finish with it, you know what I'm saying? Like, the artists that are in there, Baby T's in there. That particular issue right there is going to definitely get some eyes, because the person I got on the cover is definitely doing some things in the New York City. This one's from New York City, in a New York City lane. This person's a publicist and a DJ, well known, has really touched everybody that she can touch from any
Oh,
entertainment.
she.
Yeah, I got a female on the front. I ain't
Is
playing. I'm doing ladies this time. You know what I'm
I
saying?
I need to know. I need to know if it's who I think it is. I'm gonna ask you once we get off the air. I ain't gonna.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
need
yeah,
to
yeah.
know if it's who I think it is. I'm a scream because one of my best friends is her best friend. So if
Yeah.
it's who I think it is, I don't know.
We going hard. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why we doing it is because I want to make sure that the people inside the magazine not only show, get the support that they need, but understand that, we ain't just putting out anything. We making sure that everybody is official, which is important. And I'm glad that you sent the pictures that you did, because I had to tell a couple people, like, yo, you don't want it. This is a magazine. You representing your brand. You don't want your brand or your first look, to be this, right? Like, there's people sending me pictures with, their head down, and I can't really see their face. Like, who are you? If I like what I read about you, I wouldn't recognize you in the street. I had to look for your hat.
Yeah,
What's good with that? You know what I'm saying? So the Grynd Report coming soon with Baby T in it. You get what I'm saying? And make sure y'all check that out. I'm gonna ask you about yeah.
that's my joint.
We talked about yeah. We got it on Power 107.6 The Truth. Really
Yeah,
sure Tampa got it on the Hype 87.3. You get what I'm saying? We talked about it a little bit, but who produced that track?
yeah. It's a guy called Ingles. Ingles. Engles. So Ingles.
Right.
If you say it too long, you would start talking with a lisp.
Yeah.
But it was crazy. Like, I was looking for records that were different. Like, I didn't want anything that was normal. Even when I hit, I would go on, and truth be told, and tell everyone to potentially listen, like, hey, I went on B Stars and I just looked up people. It was like, I
Right.
have this idea in mind, and I just searched B Stars. But then I don't live on BeatStars. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna buy it from there. No, I go to their actual page. I find their information. I follow them. I DM them. I get their numbers. I talk to them. I do whatever I can to get to know them so they know who I am. And with yeah, that record reminded me of some old school Dre. Reminded me of something Nipsey would do,
Right.
and the story behind it, which she sleep right now. So the story behind that is, which I don't even know if they know. So, like, we were out one day. We were celebrating my best friend's birthday. We threw her like one big birthday party over the weekend.
Yeah.
You know, it was like one of those things like, hey, we're gonna celebrate your life, right?
Right.
We went out. We went out all weekend, and every time we went out, dudes kept hitting on the women, kept hitting on all the girls. And every time I'm like, this one particular time we was heading to the car, I was like, girl, what he say to you? She was like, hey, he said nothing but a bunch of yeah, ain't mean nothing. I was like, okay. And then about a month or two later, yeah, was done. Like,
yeah. I like it when it comes natural like
yeah,
that.
it came
Oh, that's a
natural. Like,
dope song. Right.
yeah, I couldn't help it, like, because it was funny as a mug. I was like, like it was on some true hustle and flow stuff. Like,
right.
you know, like, you know, it's hard out here for pimp. I was like, yeah, how he was. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that sounds like a good song.
Well, listen, I hear you. You on the grind live. You in the grind report. One question we y'all gotta get when y'all get to the ground report, you gonna see. I think we asked this question in this too, but we gonna ask it again because the last time we did this with somebody, the whole landscape changed for them. Right?
Give it to me.
What
if you ask
like?
me about my top 5, that's gonna come off. That's gonna rattle off. I can tell you that.
No. What do you feel like's your definition of grind?
Hustle inspired.
Yeah.
Which I have plans to wear the hoodie, but I don't have it.
So good.
I have a merch line. It says hustle inspired. The term hustle inspired, we all know hustle. Hustle is grind. It means to do whatever you can to get by. But none of that means anything if you don't inspire.
Right.
You can grind your ass off. You can grind your ass off until you're dust. Right. But if you never inspire anybody while you're grinding, you going to dust means nothing because you can't do anything. You know what I'm saying? You're dust. Whatever you had that you can inspire from is gone. To me, hustle inspired. You hustle to inspire, and you inspire to be inspired.
Right. That's a fact.
You give back to those who look at you as inspiration, and you use their inspiration as inspiration.
Right.
You like
that's continue to move forward. You continue to keep doing it.
Yes.
Yeah, which is why we, you know, we created Groundwork Enterprises and the things that we do for that reason, right? So I definitely understand that. You know, scrolling at the bottom of the screen here is your Instagram. Baby T. Where else can we find you? Do you have a website? What other social media is out there?
It's funny. Everything is Baby T. I was going through some video footage I might have for the concert. So when people walk in, it's a big old screen, and it's gonna be there. I didn't realize It's Baby T has been around for almost 20 years. It's Baby T. ITSBABYT. That is everything. That is Twitter. That is Instagram. That is TikTok if I use it. I'm not a fan of making an ass out of myself. I'm old. I can't help it. It's babyt.com is me though. If you go to the website, itsbabyt.com. Once you get on there, you will see my signature, my hand signature, but you also will see all of me. Whatever information that you may need, if it's on a desktop, mobile, or tablet, it doesn't matter. It's babyt.com. ITSBABYT.com.
It's important that you have a website. People don't understand that, you know what I mean? Because these social media platforms don't belong to us, but that website,
it belongs to me. I had to buy it back because it's been, like I said, it's been 4 years since I released anything. I physically had to get on the phone and call the people who took the domain back because I stopped looking into audio. It just became a thing, and it was like, yeah, it's going to cost this amount of money. I said, cool. Where am I paying it to? I said it's going to cost this. I don't care. It's my name. And matter of fact, since you're talking, I'm going to buy it for the next 4 years. And then we're going to renew it for the next 4 years after that until I tell you to stop. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
And matter of
yeah.
fact, I want this name and this name and this name and this name. Like it was, and I
Right,
wasn't
right,
playing. Like I didn't realize, like, because I haven't been doing music, that just all of that went to the wayside. It was like, man, like I had artists, people, tons of different artists on my Spotify and Apple
right,
Music and Tidal. I was like, these people, no disrespect to them, but they're not me.
right, right,
Let's update this, and like, yeah, like you have to have your website, because no matter what happens, TikTok can go down, IG can go down, Facebook can go down. But I promise you, Jay-Z's gonna have a website,
right,
Beyonce's gonna have a website, I'm
right.
gonna have a website.
Yeah,
You need to have a website.
exactly.
Ryan Leslie has a website. Ryan Leslie, you can text where you can go to Ryan Leslie's website, give me your number. You can get an instant text message from Ryan. Like,
Right,
at
right,
the end of the day, you need that. You need to be able to communicate with the people that love you the most. Like, I know, like, I had I sent out a promo, and I was so busy. I said it real fast, and somebody texted me and was like, "Hey, I think you had a misspelled word." It made me laugh so much. I was like, but that lets me know it's working.
right,
That
right.
somebody literally took the time to be like, read the whole thing and realize you had a misspelled word. That says a lot on me, but it says a lot on your fan base.
They pay
That they're
attention.
willing, but they
Yeah,
can reach out to you personally and be like, you had something wrong.
right,
And
right,
how
right,
do I get this? How
right,
can I get tickets? Where can I watch the show? Where can I do this? Like, no, like
right, right,
that's what it's about. If I'm in your town, you should be able to contact me. If I say, hey, we're going to dinner at this Italian restaurant and we got cameras around, I want some of y'all to show up because we're shooting a video. I expect people to show up.
right, right, right. Listen, any last words and shout outs you want to give to the people?
Absolutely. Shout out to, we all know, shout out to our family for doing everything. Shout out to Mom Dukes. I love
Yeah.
her to death. Shout out to my niece and my nephews. I'm older. These shout outs are a little different.
Right. No, it's
Shout
all
out,
good.
yeah, shout out to Lakia. Shout out to one of my best friends ever. Shout out to Brooklyn. Not
Yeah,
Brooklyn as a city, but Brooklyn
Brooklyn.
is my best friend. She was born and
Right,
raised in Brooklyn. So it's like we
yeah, yeah.
her name for the past, no one knows her as anything except Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Shout
one of
out
my
to,
one of my daughters is middle name is Brooklyn.
see what I mean? Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
shout out to Lex. Shout out to Slick. Shout out to my brother Slick. Shout out to my brother Bosco. Rest in peace. Shout out to Zippy. And shout out to all the fans, all the friends. I know people got nicknames for their fans or whatever, but no, y'all just family. Like, shout
Yeah,
out to all the fans, all the fans turned family that have supported me for 20 something years, that have gone through the ups and downs, allowed me to call you through my highs and lows, inspired me through all these songs. Like, this is for you. Like,
yeah.
this right here is for you. Because like when we get off this phone, we gonna continue to celebrate. Like,
Right, right, right,
like,
right, right.
like this is for you. Like, I appreciate all these people. So thank you. And of course, most importantly, thank you, bro.
Definitely,
I
definitely.
appreciate you. I appreciate On The Grynd. I appreciate Tampa. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate Atlanta. I appreciate everyone that has tuned in with Baby T and
Yeah,
continue to tune in, because me and you both know, as we get older, it's a whole different level, and
that's a
the
fact.
whole different level that we're reaching is not what we were trying to reach when we were 21. We're
Right,
smarter, we're
right,
stronger,
right.
we're more, we're more aware. So
Definitely.
just I thank everybody for that's tuning in now. Just understand, more is coming. I promise you that. And Prodigal Son is in stores at
Tomorrow,
midnight.
midnight.
Tomorrow at midnight.
Yeah. Well, listen, I appreciate you tuning in, pulling up with us. You know what I'm saying? If y'all missed this, because I see y'all tuning in, it will be on podcast platforms. So just go to YouTube and hit the rewind button, restart it. You can listen again. We did this live.
I'm mad. Ain't nobody sent no messages.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why y'all ain't sending no? I see you. Why you ain't sending? It is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? But
y'all got 60 seconds. You better send
put the
something. If you
comments,
ain't got it,
put the comments, put some in the comments. I'm gonna make sure y'all put some in the comments. Stop playing. You know what I mean? But listen, I appreciate you, Baby T. Keep doing
I
your thing.
appreciate you.
Keep grinding. Prodigal Son tomorrow. The Grind Report in April. He got this. Not out. The matter of fact, he got the show coming up. The performance. He got a lot of things going on. Pay attention. You know what I mean? So,
tomorrow concert tomorrow, live stream concert tomorrow. Itsbabyt.com. Write it down. Whatever you got to do, follow me right now. I will make sure you get the link. Don't worry about it. It'll be the best experience ever. I promise you that. Ryan Moses on the ones and twos. Shout out to boy Ryan again.
Yeah. All right. Listen, man. Thank you again. We're about to get out of here.
My
Shout
pleasure.
out to everybody tuning in. Salute.